everyone, it's Louise with MinWax, and I'm coming to you today with a little bit of a heavy heart. I did a skin for a fusion piece. This guy. This is my second try, and it's been a really rough day. And I don't usually share things like that with you guys, but I had painted this, and then I had something drop on it, and this was so pretty, and I'm really bummed. Now, if this were me 20 years ago, I probably would have screamed my head off, but I just saw what happened and was just like, oh my God. Now, this is after today, where the Hurricane Helene came through and decided to drop a number of trees around our property, along the roads. We still can't, I don't know when we're going to get out of here, because it's still the night of, and of course a nice oak tree right on our house. So it's been a rough day. And when that happened today, I decided I'm going to go right to work and get myself right back into this as a distraction, if anything. And I normally don't cry and weep and wail to you guys, but I'm just telling you, like, today. What is today? That's what's happening today. So what I have for my pillow is a Glidden 6011N. Obviously, I'm going to try to replicate that, and I'm going to start laying some of that down, and I'm also going to try some of the translucent pillow around it. So let's just get to work here, because I need to put my head in a good space. And I'm not one that normally thinks of using fluid art as therapy, but I'll tell you what, if there's a day where I need a little extra help, today would be it. I'm going to interject here. Honestly, I forgot I even made this video until I was going through all of my video creations. So let's give this a whirl. So that's the translucent. Now the translucent there, I don't know if it's going to work. I tried it on that one. I didn't put enough translucent down. I think I probably still don't have enough here, because what I see is underneath this white is spreading. But that's okay. Let's just get going here, because I really want to create something nice. On a good note, we have a generator that's working. Still have no internet right now. I don't know if the towers are down or what's going on. One of our friends and neighbors from up the road walked down, checked in on us. Of course, their deck got blown off. They have a back deck that got literally annihilated. Yeah, and another friend of ours had their house landed on by a tree. Not to mention trees all over the place. And you know what? I really can't complain. This is where we live, in the mountains. You're gonna have that hazard, but this was the worst storm I have ever seen, without question, bar none. And I've been through a few hurricanes before, never been through a tornado. These trees were going crazy. And maybe by now I might have shared with you a video or two about it, but it was out of control. I'm linking above my Helene playlist if you want to look. I saw the tree. Actually, our dog was growling, looking out the front window and growling like a bear. But I have a feeling that she knew something was about to happen. And kind of frankly, I did too, because I had just yelled to Mike, the tree is leaning toward our house now. I'm sorry, I shouldn't burden you with this, but obviously this is fresh on my mind. Oh, I didn't tell you any of the colors. I'll cover the colors. In a second. This is a combination of DecoArt's Sapphire Extreme Sheen and what else? Oh, Modern Masters Venetian Pearl. This is my gold combination, 24 karat near by DecoArt and iridescent gold by Golden. This is Prism Pours, Chantilly lace and Golden's iridescent pearl. This is iridescent silver by Golden, and this is a combination of lamp black by Amsterdam and carbon black by Golden. All right, cell activator. My white cell activator, video 141, American Floetrol cell activator. I'll link it above if you want to take a look at that. And then I have my black, which is the carbon Amsterdam's oxide black. So here I'm blowing straight down into the cell activator to try to get it to blow out in as full a circle as possible. And then once I get it opening up, then I aim my blow at where the cell activator is meeting the paint, and then I blow the cell activator out over the paint and the paint out over the pillow until I get it fully blown out as I'm going around in this circle. If you want to see a little more detail about the art of the blow, I have video 419. I will link it above. It talks about how to blow, how your speed changes things, and how your angle changes things too. It's a very good video. It's not that long, and it's very informative. So I keep going around here until I get the shape I'm looking for, more oblong than round, and then I will get ready to spin it out here in a second once I'm all set with this. The reason why also I felt the need to do this, I'm trying to get this fusion piece done before next weekend. I'll tell you in a second. So especially if you're newer, I'm blowing into the cell activator to try to get it to spread out a little bit so that the colors underneath can push through and create the cells. Okay, let's give it a spin. The reason why I want to get this done before next week end is that my husband and I hopefully will be flying to California for my daughter's baby shower. Yeah, if there's good news, there's that. My daughter is expecting our first grandbaby on December 21st, and we're going back for her baby shower. That's next Saturday, the 5th of October. Hopefully, we'll be there. And then, a week after that, October 12th, our son is getting married to a really wonderful woman, an artist, and she's amazing. And they are a fantastic and adorable couple. Yeah, so I've got some big things happening, and kind of, actually, if we're going to have a hurricane that's going to do this kind of damage, and in a lot of ways we're lucky because we have gigantic trees that draped down below our house, missing us on the backside by about maybe 10 meters. I mean, literally missed us. 3 trees missed us by 10 meters behind our house. Yeah, so if we're going to have a hurricane, the time to have it is a week before we're supposed to get on a plane, because if it happened next week, it would have been a whole different story. Okay, let's just keep stretching this out. Trying to make up for that. I'm sure all of you can relate to a problem like that. Oh my God. But you know what? I don't even get that upset anymore. I mean, for crying out loud. There are things that happen. That was a careless mistake when I dropped something into it. It was careless. It was careless, and it's probably because of today. Okay, keep in mind this is what it's going to go on. can stretch it out some more. We'll see how this develops. The colors are, you can't beat the colors. Not sure I'm in love with the shape, but I'm always going to cut it down and shape it the way I want to. So the shape is not as important right now as getting it done. So hopefully I can get it all done here. So all I'm doing here is just imagining it draped over there and how it's going to fit this wood piece. Probably can go even a little bit longer. I'm going to skip past some of the spinning here. I think we'll stop with that. Okay, this is where we're going to go with this guy. All right, I'm going to try to be more careful this time. Yeah. Okay, I'll be back. So here are the wet results of that creation. I also made 2 paint skins. I deleted the video by mistake, but I'll show you everything as I lay it out here in a second. All right, I'm back after peeling the paint skins off of the silicone mats. And as I mentioned before, I've got one swipe that was with transparency and one with the regular pillow paint. And I have my 2 blooms here. Got the first one that I did that on Hurricane Helene day. I dropped the tent into it. Oh joy. And this was so pretty. And then I've got the one that I did subsequent. So this is where the fun or the frustration comes in. Trying to figure out how to lay out the skin on the piece. Now, I discovered another thing. I don't know where this came from, but I ended up with a drizzle of, looks like pillow paint there somehow. I don't know how that happened. So now I have to avoid that. So I'm thinking it would go on there something like this. And I saved this piece because I might be using a part of it to overlay on top of that piece that's bad. And then I've got these other pieces that would be in the flow going down here. And I don't know how that's going to work yet. So I just wanted to share with you this part where it becomes like a jigsaw puzzle, because I've flipped this thing around multiple ways, looking at it from different points of view. And this is where the figuring how this is all going to come together happens. So once I get done figuring that, I will put the skins on top of the piece, and then we'll get ready for resining. Hi everyone, I'm back with this fusion piece, and this has been quite the exercise in trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And that's part of the frustration and part of the fun of this whole type of process. So this is what I've got. So remember, I had my 2 swipes, and I had my failed paint skin that I put the tent in just for fun. And then I had my other paint skin. So this is what I've got. I've got these taped in place right now, but I'm going to attach these to this piece with this polyacrylic MinWax clear matte. I just happen to use the matte because I'm not going to use matte for much else, and I can use this like glue, like a Mod Podge or something as an adhesive. So one of the things that I just did, and I always wait a couple days. I decided I cut out my pieces, my skins, and then I kind of just let them sit how I think they might want to go. And then I look at it, and then I wait a couple days. So I've been working on this for a few days now, trying to just figure this out. And now at the last minute, I was bringing all the pieces of skin over here. And at the last minute, I took another look at this one as I brought it over here. And this little guy was sitting in there. And I thought, well, isn't that a cool piece to add? Because it was a little bit bothering me. I had the space here, but I couldn't connect this to that. This fits right here. But I thought, now I've got a space here, and now it seems more cohesive, even though there's space there. So I'm just looking at this from what makes sense to me. So I just added this little extra piece. So what I'm going to show you here. Now I've got these adhered down, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere each one of these pieces one at a time. I'm just going to show you this one right here. So I've got it kind of stuck down where I think it's going to go. Oh, another thing. On some of these edges here where it's dark, I've added this marker to make the sides black so they don't just jump out in your face. That one went a little far. Just to darken it up. Now, this is the way it's going to go. I'm just going to adhere it to the piece because it just kind of fits there to me. This was off of the bad one. This was off the reject one. Okay, so let's give it some polyacrylic on the piece of wood. Put a little on here. I'll put some on the back of the paint skin. Doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be complete. Okay, now I'm just going to attach it to what I think is going to make sense. Kind of squeeze it in. Work from the center, push out any extra of the polyacrylic out to the sides. You got to be careful about where you put it because once it starts to set up, it starts to set up pretty quick. That's kind of it. Okay, so that's the one piece, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go around adding all these other little pieces and the bigger pieces, and I'll show you when I'm done. All right, everyone, I'm back, and I'm done with applying the paint skins, and what I ended up doing is actually putting a coat of varnish across the whole thing. With the matte varnish, I varnished it all. And I might do another coating of varnish over the top of this because, pro tip, I've been finding that when I varnish the piece prior to putting the resin on it, I don't get so many bubbles, don't get so many air bubbles, because what the varnish is doing is it's going to provide a seal over the top of this. Yeah, so yeah, that's one of my pro tips. It's a live and learn day as we go through, and I've been doing it for a few times now, and it's actually helped me out a lot. So this is where we are, and I will be back. Maybe I'll show you resining. Either which way, I'll be back with the final piece. All right, see you soon, everybody. So I'm going to record this. I don't know how far I'm going to get or how much I'm going to share, but I've got this fusion piece propped up on three things, trying to get it as level as possible. It's almost impossible when you're having a piece that's multi-shaped here, three-dimensional. I've got tweezers, I've got this palette knife to get in between some of the cracks, and I've got a toothpick here. And I do not have a protective mask on. I have a window open, and I'm just going to get started here. So I'll probably just have this on mute and just run this video very quickly. All I'm doing is running my fingers across all the nooks and crannies and edges, trying to get all of it because it's always pretty tricky. I'm dipping my finger because it's actually a better way than just pouring it all on. So I'm going to go on fast forward here 5 times the speed as I lay it down with my finger. I'm finding that for this one especially, the finger, just dipping it in that resin is much easier. I'm not wasting so much, and I'm actually applying it straight onto the fusion piece. So yeah, I'm just going to go on fast forward here, showing you how I'm doing this, and I'll probably skip ahead a little bit and show you a little bit of the torching as well. I think I torched this 3 or 4 times before it's all done. Also, another thing I'm not going to show you is cleaning up the drips. So multiple times I go around the edges on the bottom, clean up the drips, so the next morning I don't have to do a lot of X-Acto blading off the drips that form when it starts to settle as it's starting to cure. So that's it for here. And it's right about here. I'm going to call this a wrap. Here are the final resin results, and I am really happy with how this turned out. I think on this one I applied 8 or 9 separate pieces of paint skins, and I am so thrilled with this. I love the way this color played with this wood, and also I loved how I scalloped the paint skin, especially on the fins, or what looks like fins, as you'll see in a second. So if you're new here and you like what you see, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell and all. You'll get all my latest art tutorials. At the end of this, I will have a link to other of my art fusion pieces if you want to see other creations I've made with other color combinations and other types of wood. Yeah, so right here is where it's really showing the scalloping in the way I cut that, and I just think that was a nice little touch there. And not to mention, this is a really cool piece of wood. Anyway, this is about 20 inches long and about 5 inches, 6 inches in its widest spot and about 4 inches in its narrowest spot. So at the end, I'm also going to have highlights of different playlists. As I've mentioned before, I do have a lot of playlists with all of my pieces broken down by category. And that's all for now, everybody. Take care. Till next time.